Welcome to the Karis Pen Co. YouTube channel. I am your host today, Paul, and I'm here to walk you through the Vertex Fountain Pen. Hopefully, you are somewhat familiar with this fountain pen. Maybe you've heard about it from somebody else, or you saw one on another YouTube channel, and you're here to kind of get our take on it. And our explanation about it, and kind of learn a little bit more about it and what we have to offer with it, and kind of where we're going with it at this time. If you've never heard about it, and you're just somebody who's did a YouTube search for fountain pens, welcome in. Hopefully, I do a good job about explaining fountain pens in and of themselves, but also giving you an idea of the Vertex Fountain Pen, which is one of the fountain pens that we manufacture here at Karis Pen Co. We have several different versions, several different fountain pens that we offer, and this is just one of them. This one specifically happens to be made only in resins at this time, but we are considering manufacturing the Vertex out of metals in the future. We're kind of opening it up to just about any of our capabilities in the near future. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the Vertex Fountain Pen. And here are a few of the versions of the Vertex that we have released in the past. As we're looking at the top-down view of these four, I'll kind of go from left to right in terms of explaining what these are. So from the left, we have one of the original machined acrylic Vertexes in what we called the Deco Green. It's called that because we use that material first in our Decograph fountain pen, which was our first foray into using acrylics and resins and other plastics. We have not manufactured this version in quite some time. We've been out for probably a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. We've been out of the Deco Green Vertex. That one was basically, it was sourced acrylic from a U.S. manufacturer in, Iowa or Oklahoma. Amazing acrylic. It's semi-transparent. Realistically, the only reason that it isn't more transparent is just because the dye that they use is so dark. It almost gives it an opaque nature, but it is a transparent dye. And then moving on from there, that matte pen that you see, that black pen, is our tumbled Delrin Vertex. So Delrin is an industrial polymer that's used in a lot of different industrial applications for bearings and what else? It's I don't have them off the top of my head. I apologize, but it's often described as being self-lubricating, although that's not really true. It just doesn't. It's not prone to friction. And in movable parts, it's quite durable in certain applications. It is quite different than acrylic or other plastics or things like Macrolon, which is a polycarbonate. It's a little bit pliable. It has a very different surface texture. It machines quite differently than the other examples that are in this image. That is a standard version of the Vertex that we offer, although I think we may be out at this time. We will be machining more of them. We have white and black Delrin available as part of our standard versions of Delrins. Then moving on to some of our special releases that we've offered this past year. The green and white, it was the Death in the Afternoon Vertex, named after, we took a little bit of inspiration from the Ernest Hemingway drink that he created for a famous cocktail recipe book that was published, I believe, in the 30s or 40s. Yeah, it might have been the 50s. I don't remember exactly. But it was a two-part drink that used basically absinthe and champagne, both chilled, poured together. And in doing so, well, you pour the absinthe first, and then you pour the champagne into that. And in doing so, you get the green and then this cloudy white look that goes with it. So these pens are a European resin. I don't know the exact type of resin. Um, they were really beautiful pens. Didn't have any of that like shiny mica in them. The white and the green are basically just dyes in the resin, but they look really nice. They machined really nice, polished, amazing. And I think we're about sold out on that one. The fourth one is, a pen that we sourced the resin from, also from the UK, and is a European manufactured resin. And we really thought it was a fun look. It's got some gold that has some shine to it, light blue, orange, the black. It's kind of all over the place. It reminded us of the Mystery Machine and elements from that cartoon, if you're familiar with, which I won't get into just so we don't violate any copyrights or trademarks. But we named that the Zoinks Vertex. We do have quite a few of those left in stock. We did a big batch of those, thinking that it would be really popular. And, we sold about half of them right away, and then they've kind of slowly trickled in. I think it's just one of those ones that it's not for everybody. And then, so those are a few examples. And as you can see, this pen is very unique in that it's nearly seamless. Doesn't use any external threads. The caps on them are snap caps with O-rings. And then clipless, because this is meant to be a pocket carry pen. Right in your pocket, just throw it in there. Very minimal parts in terms of externally. You just have the cap, the body, and the grip. The grip section was made elongated so that it moves into a smooth transition into the body. That gives you kind of an ink window type thing. Initially, we designed the Vertex to be an eyedropper only fountain pen, and then adapted it in the later version, the later iteration, to allow for a cartridge or a converter. And we provide a converter. The Vertex uses 3 O-rings, one in the cap, one in the body, and one in the grip, that allow for it to for the cap to go on specifically without threads. So the Vertex capture system is just with that O-ring. It is a purpose-made and specifically designed for this pen. And then we use the O-rings that we use in the grip and the body are more for the eyedroppering of the pen, and allows for the pen to be eyedroppered without the need of silicone grease. Although if you do use silicone grease, that doesn't hurt it. I prefer to also put a little silicone grease on my own, just to make sure that the ink doesn't flow out in case there's some degradation in the O-ring. Although there shouldn't be. We use silicone O-rings in all of the different and all of the O-rings in this pen are silicone O-rings, so they are much less prone to wearing over time from any kind of normal wear in the air. They're much more robust than Buna O-rings or something like that. So there you kind of have the idea of the pen. Rather simple design, although at the same time I would say that it has a lot going for it. You got a lot of curves, you got a lot of flow to the pen. It kind of has, one of the reasons that we did this seamless grip to body transition was taking into account that not everybody's grip is the same. Some people prefer rather thin grip sections. Others prefer a thicker pen. I personally tend to grip further back on the pen and prefer a wider grip in my hand. I get less hand fatigue, especially for long writing sessions. All of these elements were ones that I kind of wanted to see realized when I took the ideas that I had to Bill and said, hey, can we make a pen that doesn't use threads for the cap and that has an ink window in it and that is relatively seamless? And he basically said, yeah, we can do all that stuff. And then in conjunction with Dan, our former designer, we kind of I kind of gave him ideas on what I was looking in terms of some of the more classic designs with the taper and the rounded body that kind of brings to mind elements of the old Schaefer pens. And then the cap is a little bit more our normal style where it uses a chamfer. It's a long chamfer, but it's a chamfer instead of a round curve. And then the top has a recessed divot in it that was just kind of a detail on there that I wanted to add in there. That's kind of the opposite of the end. So it's kind of asymmetric in the design rather than being symmetric. And there's no clip because I wanted a pen personally that was clipless, but that was a pen that would potentially be just as carryable as a pen with a clip on it. You can just put it in a pen sleeve and throw it in your pocket or your purse and go from there. Holds a lot of ink, holds like 1.7 milliliters of ink in the body if you eyedropper it. So you've got a lot of options there. So that's kind of where this pen is and what it was designed to do. And in terms of the pricing from most of our special, we release more of these as special releases where we source the resins made in Europe or other places where we make our own resins now in shop. And those are a little bit more expensive. They're about $175 per pen, which is about the price that you're going to get anywhere with a machined pen of this nature. The standard versions, the Delrin and the acrylic versions, are going to be cheaper than that, and we're going to be working around some price changes in the future with those models being a little bit lower than they normally have been in the past, with some options in terms of how they ship and stuff like that once those come back in stock. And all of these current options ship in our machined aluminum pen box, the Vertex box, with different laser etched lids on them. And kind of have the Vertex on the ones that are just our standard versions, and then the ones that are named, we come up with artwork and partner with some artists. Well, one specifically that basically comes up with all the ideas. Well, him and I collaborate on the ideas, and he does an amazing job of showing off what my brain is and my mouth is telling him I want to see. So there you kind of go, everybody. Hopefully you have a great idea now on the Vertex Fountain Pen and kind of like what it is and what it's supposed to be, and you're not confused. We have a lot of them coming out this year. We tend to do 1 or 2 special releases a month, and they're anywhere from 40 to 120 pens. We've done some limited editions releases here recently that are 15 pens, and we'll continue to do some of those throughout the year. Those are serial numbered on the boxes and have special artwork, and they're more of the pens that we make, the resin that we make in-house. And we have some stuff coming up. There'll be an addendum to this YouTube when we have more of the stuff in-house, the actual product in-house, to show off some of the new stuff that we're going to be rolling out for the Vertex line. So look for that in the upcoming months. But that kind of wraps up the Vertex Fountain Pen. Just a quick look at it, a quick explanation of what it is and where we were when we thought about it, and kind of what it does and how you can utilize it as a part of your everyday carry if you're an EDC person, or as a part of your fountain pen collection if you're just a fountain pen person. Kind of fits into all those roles. Some of the Delrin one is a very robust pen. You can definitely use it as an everyday carry pen. Several of the Illuminate versions are rather robust as well. And like I said, we are planning on rolling out some metal versions of this pen in the near future. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here for for the Vertex Fountain Pen overview. And I'll talk to you again soon when we roll out the next video. If you have any questions or concerns, as always, comment down below. Please give this video a like and make sure to subscribe so you're always notified when we post a new video. Otherwise, see you later. I will talk